Hey guys, Radiohead listener here. That's right, I'm back recording a video. I haven't been able to because of life and school and shit. Well, we're gonna be talking about the little eeny beeny teeny weeny subgenre of rock known as post rock, or you could call it a subgenre for fucking losers, because that's really what it is if we're being honest. But what is post rock? That's a good question. You know what? Let's check RYM really quick for what post rock means. Here we go. I'm gonna search it up on my phone. Let's check what post rock means. According to RateYourMusic.com, post rock is a rock genre with roots in, but soon rapidly distinct from the European and US alternative rock and indie rock scenes. The two key uniting musical elements between these bands are using instrumentation and riffs as facilitators for timbre. I keep fumbling. Let's just texture and atmosphere, as well as embracing various styles and genres due to distancing themselves from traditional rock structures. Despite multiple variants of the genre since its beginning, these factors remain consistent. So, if you're like me and you aren't like, you don't know instruments and you don't know music theory and you don't really know like the making of music, I don't know what the fuck that means. So I'm gonna give my own version of a definition of post rock based off the music I've heard of the genre. So here, let's make this definition. Post rock is a subgenre of rock consisting of songs that usually tend to go from 10 to 30 minutes. The genre takes the tropes and the usual format of the rock genre and completely breaks it down and rebuilds it from the ground up. One of the main things we see within this genre is mostly instrumental work with little lyrics to none. This isn't always the case though, but it can be. Anyways, I don't fucking know. So now that we have that out of the way, I know you're wondering, okay, so I have an idea of what post rock is. So how do I get into the genre? That's a great question. The problem with post rock is some of the albums are like an hour and a half to 2 hours, and I know you don't, and you know I don't want to sit there and listen to that shit for that long. So I'm going to be giving 3 albums that I think will help you get into post rock, that are good, they're renowned, and it's not going to waste your fucking time. The first album we're going to talk about is, of course, the originator of post rock, Talk Talk's Laughingstock. Yes, sir. This album is very good. It runs about 40 to 50 minutes, so it's not an insanely long album. It has around 6 songs, and it's not super long, but I love this album. It's great. It has a lot of jazz influence. It's super just ethereal, I guess would be the best word to describe it. Every song builds, and I love the vocals. A lot of the albums I'm going to mention, there is vocals throughout every song in it, and the vocals are amazing. They're super catchy. The emotion in the voice is just fucking phenomenal. But it's a great introduction to post rock, because even though it has a lot of elements of what a lot of nerds on RYM would say is stereotypical post rock, it was the first to do it, which makes it original, which also makes it, if you listen to it first as an introduction to the genre, unique. And I strongly recommend it, as it had so many good songs on it. Every song hit hard, and it really just represents the genre perfectly, I think. And then from that point, you can go into the more experimental post rock that I'll recommend near the end. All right, second album. You might have heard of this if you listen to music and you visit a lot of music YouTubers, you look at a lot of music on Instagram, any of that shit. Slint Spiderland. It's a really well-known album at this point, extremely influential, overlooked during its time. It's a very short album. It's like 38 minutes. It's not that long, but it's considered post-rock, and I do think it falls into that genre, but this is very much not instrumental. So if you're like, I don't really like instrumental, please check this out, because you might get a kick out of it. But instead of singing, a lot of it, we're getting spoken word, stories being told with a chorus that is singing / shouting. But the emotion, it's a dark, gloomy album, and we have just an intense, almost fear surrounding the album, with these amazing vocals that aren't maybe skillfully amazing, but they provide this excellent story that just adds to this atmosphere so well. And I love it from start to finish. I think the opening is fantastic. I love the story of meeting a fortune teller at the carnival, right? And then Good Morning Captain is a phenomenal outro. One of the best, honestly, for being for real. This pure emotion in his yelling is just phenomenal. And it's an album I think can also be super easy to get into because it's super short. It doesn't take long to listen to. And really, like, if you're coming from any genre, you can try to find some joy in this. It might take repeat listens, but this can help you get into post-rock. I believe 100% it should be one of the first ones you listen to. And for my final recommendation, I'm going to have to put none other than Godspeed You Black Emperor, not Lift Your Skinny Fist or F Sharp A Sharp, but Slow Ride for Mogwai Canada. I know, right? So for those who know, and for those who don't know, I guess, this is a EP by famous, maybe the most famous post-rock group, Godspeed You Black Emperor, boasting 2 of the highest rated post-rock albums of all time. They're just considered god tier post-rock. And I have to agree. I think Lift Your Skinny Fist is definitely a top tier album. But the issue a lot of people have with that is that they're like an hour and a half long albums. And I know you don't want to listen to that. And that was my thought too. So getting into the genre, we can't really dive deep into an hour and a half long album unless you have patience, which, let's be real, most of us don't. But this album, or EP, I guess, this EP is only 30 minutes. It's super short. It consists of 2 songs. We have the first song, it's a 10-minute, and again, nerds on RYM are like, this is the most generic post-rock I've ever heard in my entire life. Shut the fuck up. It is generic in sense of the entire genre, but if you're starting here, you're going to get a great idea of what Godspeed is, condensed to 10 minutes, great post-rock song, excellent instrumentation, and just overall a good experience. And then the second song is around 20 minutes, and you're like, damn, a fucking 20-minute song? I know, but literally perfect. Godspeed is known for their use of field recordings that usually focus on the government being a piece of shit, we need to overthrow the government, they're taking my rights and shit. And then they put this like dark, ominous tone behind these field recordings. And then after the field recording ends, we get this swell, this build up, and then this release. And that's what this song is. And it's a perfect representation of Godspeed. I think this EP represents Godspeed in 30 minutes perfectly. So if you listen to Mogwai for Slow Canada and then you enjoy it, you should take this and say, oh, okay, let me give the rest of these albums a try. Because this represents Godspeed in a condensed 30 minutes time, which really, this is the best introduction to Godspeed. Don't listen to the other albums first, listen to this one, because if you like this, you'll like the others. This is just a shorter version of that. So those are the 3 albums I think you should listen to if you want to get into post-rock. It's kind of a hard genre to get into, and being honest, the only reason I listened to the genre at all was because, damn, post-rock sounds cool as fuck. That's the only thing I thought. But if you find yourself liking these albums, some albums I can recommend after that, if you want to dive deeper into post-rock, you can listen to fucking The Earth Is Not a Cold Dead Place by Explosions in the Sky. A lot of people call it super generic, and it kind of is, but it's also super enjoyable. I recommend plethora of Swan's albums, especially their 2010 run with The Seer, To Be Kind, and The Glowing Man. Also, legendary post-rock album, of course, Soundtracks for the Blind by Swan. Be warned though, 2.5 hours long. It's a fucking full-length feature film in an album format, but it is pretty good. Post-rock's kind of a hard genre to get behind, but if you like these 3, listen to these extra ones I talked about, and you could see if you like it. I don't know if you will. Again, if you don't like instrumentation, you might not enjoy this, but I think it's worth giving a try. As in most genres, I think you should give every genre a try. I want to make more videos in the future. Hopefully some reviews come in. Thank you for watching.